Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Business at Heart podcast. Today we've got a very special guest, a really good friend of mine, someone who's big in the local community of Liverpool. It's Iddy from Iddy's Barber. As always, like and subscribe the episode and leave a comment and enjoy. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's Business at Heart podcast. Today, we've got, I think, our first studio guest of this season, so it's a big one. And then also, for me, it's someone I know very, 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 very well. Some would call him an entrepreneur, a kind of... He's got a lot of cultural cachet in the city of Liverpool.
Yeah.
It is the owner of Liverpool's famous Iddy's Barber.
Right.
Iddy, welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you.
I should say, I've been trying to get him on since season 1, so for about a year now. Mm-hmm. And every time he would always give me some excuse. Oh, I'm in Dubai. I'm cutting a Liverpool player's hair. Like there'd be something like, oh, you can't really argue against that. So.
Bro, it's not always going to be the case, isn't it?
No, all I'm saying
busy
is...
guy.
I appreciate
it's harder to get hold of me.
I appreciate you finally finally being able to fit me into your crazy busy schedule.
It's my pleasure.
Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on was because from my perspective, obviously we know each other. I've known Iddy for, I think it's 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah,
properly 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Iddy owns Iddy's Barbershop, named after him, of course, which is the most kind of Afro-known barbershop in Liverpool.
Yeah.
You all see Iddy on Instagram with all the Liverpool players, so he's quite a well-known figure. And over kind of getting to know you, we've kind of discussed a bit in terms of business, in terms of from where you were. I mean, I've only been there for 5 years, but where you were then, and then more recently, we were kind of discussing maybe your views, and then you've expanded as well. So I thought you'd be a really, really good guest to kind of have on to the pod. So first, as we're getting started, what I wanted you to tell me was kind of a bit about yourself. First off, how long's the barber? I didn't actually know this. How long has the barbershop been open for?
The barbershop is.
This is the Liverpool one, by the way.
Yeah. It's been open for like 80 years now.
80?
80 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Before that, I used to work on, I think it's 3 different barbershop where I started my career.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first barbershop I was working is in Smithtown Road. The same road where I work.
Yeah, the same
right
place.
Now.
Yeah.
For this guy, he's a legend called Miles. Yeah, he's African brother. He's from Kenya. He gave me an opportunity to learn,
like kind of the trade and stuff like that.
It's one of them. When you think about it, the journey has been like a joke.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? The barbershop, it wasn't my type of thing I want to do in my career. But I guess you don't know where your future hold is. Do you understand? So if I went back for the last 15 years and you're asking me, would you be a barber one day? I might slap you on your face. Honestly.
So it was like out of left field. It wasn't something you were thinking about doing. It just kind of happened.
No, at all. It just happened.
So how? So you talked about how you got into it. So from when you got into it, when were you thinking about kind of starting your own shop? Like, how did that idea come into fruition?
Do you know what? I just fall in love with the job. First of all, is the people I was associated with. It was there was like a more like 6 or 7 barbers on that shop. So they're always good guys. So they make me feel like a welcome. Everyone I want to, want me to be doing that type of, job. And I try for 2 months, and it was fun.
So it stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. So what got the idea of starting your own place up? Was it like, oh, I've been employed in other places, or was it, what was the light bulb moment of, okay, I want to start my own business?
Right. So after that, the moment it was after being on the game for that long, over 6-7 years,
Okay.
and I really love it, the job. The atmosphere, like meeting new people, you meet different people every single day.
Yeah.
And the opportunity I think I never had that opportunity to meet people, different people every time. So yeah, after that, I think like I was trying to put myself like you know what, one day I
want to
wanted
start
to
my
start
own
my
one.
own, foundation and my own business, and
Okay.
I did that.
How old were you at this point when you say to yourself, okay, now I want to start my business? How old were you at this point?
I was 30 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 30, you've been in it for like 5-6 years, and now you're thinking,
Yeah.
okay, so what was it when you thought to yourself, okay, I want to start my own business? What did you kind of have to come up with? Did you have to come up with a business plan? Did you have to think of, oh, how much money do I need? Equipment?
Yeah, actually.
A shop, the space for the shop. So
Yeah, correct.
talk me through that process. Like,
Right.
what was it like? Did you have an idea of you needed all that, or did you?
I had an idea in my head, but I didn't know what to start. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to put things together until to get that stage like tomorrow I'm gonna start on this. So first of all, the one thing it was coming in my head is go to the bank, which I'm with Barclays, So the manager of the Barclays is one of my clients. Do you get what I mean?
Really?
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The opportunity for me to have a different people in my office is kind of fun. So anything I wanted, I always know where to go to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So you go to the guy in Barclays.
So because I needed something about financial, whatever, to start the business, learning. I think like, oh, I've got the bank manager here. So I went to talk to him, and he was like, you know what? It's actually go. You just asking me on a good time. There's a program tomorrow. It starts tomorrow if you can. Yeah. The people Barclays help people to, to be self-employed. Do you know what I mean? So there's a course like a wiki course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? So that all that just came up with that
just
one
come from-
relationship?
yeah.
Oh, fair enough. So from the course, where does that take you then? Does it?
Yep. I went to the course for 7 days. The last day on my course, and I sit down with the guy who was taking the course after everyone left. So I was the last one because I want to talk to him personally. I didn't want anyone to hear my conversation with him. So I sit down with him, and I did ask him a few questions. And the guy was like, okay, so if you want to open your own business, he asked me, how much figure do you have? How much money do you have? And on that time, on that time I had like 7 grand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So in my head, I thought that money won't be enough for me to start my own business. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I had a big figure ahead me. Like I thought it would be maybe 10 grand or 15 grand for me to start my business. So when I give it that figure, my guy was like, you know what? Okay, let's sit down. Let me take a pen and paper to see what we get into. The first question was like, do you know how much the rent? I was like, yeah, I know, because I did ask that question to my guy. He owned a barber shop. How much did you pay? He was like, 550, 500. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
50 a month. So I write down. Do you know how much the chair you need? How many chairs? I say I need 1 chair for just my own. So chair was £600. And what about other equipment like a clipper,
All that stuff. Yeah.
the trimmer, cut, whatever, all this equipment. So all together, I had in my head, do you know what I mean? Because most of the stuff I had already.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I I didn't have to spend that much money. So
Yeah.
all together it come out like 3,000.
Okay.
Yep. So
It's interesting you say that though, because I think like you don't actually know what until you sit down and go, okay, I need this. You don't actually know what it is you need. And I remember when I was starting, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Oh, so what do you think you need for a business?" I wrote down a figure, and like it was completely wrong. Because he's like, no, you need this, you need to have this structure, you need to have that. So I think it's not until you sit down with someone who knows and they talk you through it and go, okay, this is what you should be doing, or this is what you should be doing, that you actually go, okay, yeah, I need that instead of this. So I think that part's important. So okay, so now where we're at in the story so far. So you've been there, you've gone, you've figured out it's going to cost 3,000. So then was it the same place now that's in Liverpool that you'd been?
Oh yeah, it's the same place where I started.
It's the very same place.
Yeah.
Okay, so then. What was it like with everyone around you when you said, like your friends, family, when you say, okay, I want to start a business? What was that like?
Honestly, that's the funny bit.
Okay, go.
That is very, very funny bit. Listen, as a human being, we are different type of human. Do you know what I mean? There's a people who want you to be succeed. And there's a people who want you to be fail or to be down or to be low as possible. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when I deliver that news for my guys, like, yo, guys, I think within 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to have my own space. Like, I'm going to open the barbershop. And look people on the face, like on their face, yeah? There's some people who take it like funny bit. Yeah. Remember that time I was doing all these jobs, yeah? Money didn't have a paper.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you. I didn't have a paper.
Yeah.
So I was the guy who just from nowhere, because everyone knows you are nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And the way they was treating me
was like that.
Like they treat you like you're nothing. Do you get what I mean? Because they know you can do anything. So even when that's all this come out, yeah, until to get to that person, like the bank manager, that was remember that I didn't tell you that was like 2 weeks after I get my paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
everything in 2 weeks.
Go and start.
Yeah. I run like how much I need to spend it to open the shop. The same time, I started doing my theory test.
Yeah.
I was doing already before even I didn't know where I'm gonna get paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can drive. So within a month, I did my theory, passed the first time.
So
my driving test within a month, passed.
So was that like, you're saying the reaction from your friends?
Yeah.
Was it like mixed then? So like some people who wanted you to do well,
bro,
and then some people.
It was like it's when you tell people like they know you're not gonna do it.
Yeah. It was like
they give you that look and you think like you're dead, man. You know, like you don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. I think to that though, I think because I kind of had something similar. Like there's when I was kind of thinking about starting my own thing, I kind of didn't want to. I didn't tell anyone for about 2 years. I just made it as hey, I'm moving to Liverpool. Because there was people in the friendship group, I'm not going to name names, but where I didn't feel like if I say I want to do this, I want to say to do that, I think the reaction would kind of be like, okay, yeah, like that's the vibe that I got. Was it kind of like that? Like some people were accepting and pushing you, and then some people were, and then okay, for you, how did you navigate that? Because that must be awkward. Because I remember for me with certain friends where the reaction wasn't the best, it kind of maybe drove us apart a bit. How did you deal with that? And then did it motivate you to do more or?
I think it motivated me to do more because in terms of the reaction of my guys, because I lost friends from that.
Yeah.
There's 3 people I was close with them, yeah, since the day when I get to Liverpool. But a day when I say I'm opening my own business, everyone would try to be, and they see after 2 weeks, I managed to get that store where you come in every time.
Yeah.
They come once and never see them again. Every time when they never like it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So the support I get is from my family. Do you know what I mean? That's the only support I got. I said, yo, you know what? You come far away because they know where the journey where I came from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everyone was happy. I said, you know what?
I think
it's your time now.
I think you find that with a lot of like entrepreneurs is like generally from just my observation, you find that with a lot of entrepreneurs where the dynamic changes. Like even for me, I used to be like a really heavy social person, had loads of, as it were, friends, but was very social, going out, socializing a lot. But then when you start this and you got to dedicate your time to it, you do kind of lose that socially, and you do kind of, I think the friends that stay are the ones for keepers, but then the ones, sometimes it's not even, sometimes it may just be that you're busy, but you do see that quite a lot with a lot of entrepreneurs where as soon as you start to do that, because your focus goes into the business, you do kind of like lose a bit personally. But next thing I want to talk to you about was kind of, your hiring philosophy, because since I've been there, there's been some people who have stayed longer than others. What's your hiring philosophy like? How do you choose who you hire? Is it the quality? What's your process?
My process is very simple. It's the similar process where the guy first time when I start my career as a barber took me. So I do the same process to the others.
Okay. So what's that then?
Which is someone who come. You have the knowledge, little knowledge of cutting hair. So what I do, and I know most of them, they come with the same similarity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I was before. So I do help them. I help them from day one, teach them while they're doing the job. So most likely I taught them to sit down and watch me, what I'm doing.
So you teach them on the job?
On the job.
Okay. So do you ever go for like experience, or is it more the person that matters than the experience and knowledge?
No, the experience, it doesn't matter to me.
So
because I believe for my knowledge, I'm good on teach people.
Okay, so you would much rather someone who
personality,
who brings the personality and that you can teach, rather than someone who doesn't fit the dynamic but is actually good at the job. Is that what you prefer?
Yeah. If I had the people like that, do you know what I mean, come to my shop, they're quite good. Do you know what I mean? For they have a knowledge where they know what they're doing. Yeah. But the personality doesn't suit my work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You have to know how you speak to the client.
Is that also?
Do you know what I mean?
Is that also because like one of the things that I wanted to ask you and talk about was, is that what creates the atmosphere in your shop?
Yes.
Because for me, the reason, like I was saying, like I've been here. I think there was only one person since I've been with you in Liverpool that's got my hair. And the reason being, I come back for the atmosphere because it's the feel of the place. So do you think do you think that comes from? That atmosphere starts from you.
Yes.
It goes through to them. Is that what you think's one of your unique selling points?
Yeah.
Because one of my questions to you was going to be, as like the premier guy, barber in Liverpool, what do people get from your shop that they can't get down the street? Because on that very same street, on that pavilion, there's like 5 or 6 other barbershops.
Yes.
And generally, from my observation, your customers come back quite a lot, and there's a lot more volume there. So what's your unique selling point? What do you have that the other shops don't?
I think what I have is harder to get to anyone else. I got the heart. I got the love. I've got the energy, and I've got the quality of deliver the job.
Okay, so it's quality and all the other bits. The quality of the haircut is top notch, obviously, and then also the atmosphere
the atmosphere where I can talk to. First of all, what I learned, I'm just like a doctor. When the patient come to you, you're gonna have to, talk to the patient, make you feel better for what, for them to be there. Of course, they got reason for you, for them to come
be
to
there,
you.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you need to know how to talk to them to feel better before even you give them medicine. Do you understand?
Okay, now I get the correlation.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
So that's the type of quality what I'm saying you need to get. So sometimes people, they go angerish, or they are very, very low. Maybe because something happened to their family or their relationships. So when they come to you, you like a therapist.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I do hear that quite a lot. Like, I'll be in the
people
shop.
They come to you.
Yeah.
It's not just for a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just come to you, to talk to you because they, and you give it the right, what they say, what they call it,
atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny you say, because I hear that all the time. Like, I'll be in there and you be talking to them, just while you cutting there, they'll be breaking down stuff or just talking general life talk. So is that what your thing is, like the relationship? Like, you got relationship?
It's a relationship.
Because what I see as well, like I said, I've been going for 5-6 years. All the same faces, all the same faces on a Saturday will be gathered. And also what I see is a lot of them will go before their appointment just to sit in there for a couple of hours just to come and talk. And that shows the atmosphere type of thing. So that's mainly what you
As
said.
you see, everyone comes. Some of them, even they just want to pass around. They can just pass there and sit down for half an hour, have a chat, and go. Okay, I accept it because I know they need it. I need to, because I love to talk to people.
So is that so you think that's the atmosphere you create with the new staff. So back to kind of your hiring philosophy. In terms of like quality, because, and I'm going to politely put this, I've been in the barber shop where there's about a queue of 20 people.
Yes.
And all of them just want to see you.
Yeah.
Not the other two. I've been there. How do you get that? Because that's changed, by the way. I should say, from a couple of years ago. Because I remember a couple of years ago, the dynamic on a Saturday. I wouldn't even step into your shop on Saturday because there'd be about 20 people coming.
Even the
just
people
be waiting
outside
for,
as well. Yeah.
Just be waiting for you, and the other two would be in there, and no one would want to see them.
Yes.
But that's changed now. What do you put that down to? Is it the quality of the staff? Is it what's changed? Because that has been noticeable to me. Like, now when I'm in the shop, it's still you get people that come and clamour for you.
Yeah.
But with the staff now, it's more even split. You've noticed that as well, haven't you?
Yes.
What's that down to? Is it the quality or is it?
I think that happened before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, happened before the pandemic. First of all, as I say, people that come to the shop, they want to come to talk. And they want to have the experience of the haircut, the atmosphere. So sometimes, it's not just for me. I want everyone else who work in my shop to do the same. Yeah. The one thing I don't like is my staff to talk to the, different to the client. Is the way they communicate, the way they give the look, to the client.
So do you think that's what's improved then? Is the relationship between them and that? Because I was telling you,
I always fallen off with my staff because of their service.
Yeah.
Some of them, they come like a miserable. They don't want to talk to the customer.
So do you think, so it's not necessarily the quality of the barber, it's more the quality of their personality.
Personality,
it is a personable thing. And I have noticed, like, because I'll be honest, I remember before, like, remember that first time you met my brother, like, he would only just come in for you and that was a thing. But now it's more evenly split. So, and you wonder that. And then also a lot of people, one, you're the guy, like you're the, Idioty's barber, you're the guy that everyone will come for. But then also, is that kind of to advertising? Like, because actually, we've gone to this. What's your form of advertisement then? Because I always see a lot of new people in, but how do you advertise? So how do you get a new business in? Is it word of mouth or is it? Is it because you're culturally? Is it because you're culturally known, or
I think maybe because I'm well known in Liverpool. And
also I think
other
the
thing,
location,
the location, you
the
know,
location because it's central,
Yeah.
and then also it's student, it's central, it's easy to access.
more like I'm only using Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And
So social
on
media.
social media, and Instagram, I don't post as much as I should be. Do you know what I mean? I can post once in for a while.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've been like that.
So
I'm
is it
not
more-
active
is-
on
is-
social
is
media,
it
but
more-
I think like it's more about people passing the word to
Yeah.
each. Do you know what I mean?
So it's
You
more,
come today and someone is see you say, "Oh, where did you get your haircut?" Obviously,
so it's grown like
Yeah.
it's grown like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so more your, because I tend to think a lot of yours, like for me, how I think is to keep a business, you need to keep the customers that you've got now,
Yeah.
and then to grow a business, it's new customers. So what I see from you, just from my observation, is you're always going to be stable because you got loyal customers.
Of course,
Like
yes.
like I'm one of the so-called, I'm a loyal customer. So what I see is every time I walk in, there's the same people, but every so often there's new. Is that kind of how it is? Your loyal ones are always be the
they're
ones
always
that will pay the
they're
bills,
loyal.
and then
They're
you
always gonna be there.
a slowly like expanding thing.
Yeah, and when you're loyal to me, I'll treat you as a lawyer as well. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
absolutely. So, is there, have you looked at, have you thought about like maybe in the future advertising differently? Do you think about different avenues to advertise, or is it because
yes.
that is the difficult as a business, that is the difficult part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Updating your services.
I'm
I think-
actually I just wanna advertise. Like I'm trying to create a new way to
Yeah.
To advertise my business.
I think that's the battle,
Yeah.
though, isn't it? It's the multiple, because like you're saying, one, for businesses, social media's it's too sad. Like there's everyone's on social media, so if you're a customer, how do you know
Correct.
that's the best one? I think the main thing that I see from you is, one, the product's good. From any cornerstone of a business, one, the product's good. I think the product's good, and then word of mouth. Like literally, word of mouth is good. Like for me, what you see when all my friends come and visit, I'm gonna go, okay, yeah, let's go. And I imagine that's the same, and that's the same, and that's that's the same. In terms of kind of, before we get to kind of the business side of what you're planning on, to discuss that, are you like kind of aware, like culturally, the influence you got in Liverpool? Like, because like I see, like, we'll get into the, because I had a couple of QAs about this, but or like, you've got a very big cultural cachet in Liverpool, and I see you with a lot of the celebs and a lot of the Liverpool players. But
yes.
Are you aware of that? Like, in a way, you've kind of become like a cornerstone of Liverpool, like in the city. Like, everyone I know goes to you to get their haircut and things like that. Are you aware of that? Is that part of the marketing of like, you're Liverpool based? Is that kind of part of it?
Yeah, it is. It is. As I say, it's only taking one person, and that person is going to tell the others. I'll tell you one thing, because you just mentioned all this VIP,
Yeah.
right? Most of the VIP, they used to come to the shop, and now they don't come to the shop. I have to go to their own yard.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? So the one thing is matter. Yeah? There's a lot of barbers. Good ones.
Yeah.
As I say, for me, personally,
It's
it's a relationship. And as I say, it's the way you speak, or the way you talk, or the way you put yourself on the level. You cannot call yourself a VIP barber and you don't behave as a VIP.
Okay. So
Do you get what I mean? That is a different.
So is that more they're buying, as well as that, obviously the personal side, but the IDI brand of IDI VIP Barber? Because like, also, I mean, just for me being a nosy friend, I see your clientele of VIPs or celebrity, it's expanded a lot more to what it used to, to what it used to be. And like, mainly I used to see with a lot of the Liverpool players, but now I see like with just general celebs. Is that part of that? Is it more the word of mouth of, okay, it is the big VIP barber in Liverpool and it's spreading? Is that kind of more of what it's like?
I'm the guy who low key. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about that, mate. I wouldn't say low key. I don't know.
I'm just the guy who's a low key.
Yeah, I won't let
First
you get
of
away
all,
with that.
I don't have a big head. Do you get what I mean? So, you know, one of them people, like, you go to someone's house, you don't realize these people, they go family. They protected their family, right? And you just go there with your camera, you film everything, every little thing you see in the house.
Yeah.
These people, they don't like that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That's a VIP, bro. You know, you can they keep their life privately.
So it's more
Do you know
that.
what I mean?
So
you need
to
you need to know the person first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So most of the people, they don't know. They only get invited once and they never been, let him back again.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
what's the change? Because I have noticed that actually. Because I remember, I'm gonna bring this up actually before I carry on. But what the VIPs coming into the barbershop, that's changed a lot. Because I remember, there was a point in time where half the Liverpool and Everton squad would be walking in.
Yes.
And you did switch up a couple times. So what's the change now? Because I don't see that anymore. I see you more in their location. Is that more of a trust thing? Is that more of
it's
they don't
more
want to
like
be going
it's
out?
more of
Convenience.
Trusting. People, they come to you first. As I say, they come to you like the way I read you. So they read me.
Yeah.
They see the way they sit on the chair, the conversation we're gonna have for the last 30 minutes during the haircut, and they just realize what a kind of person you are. Okay. Do you understand? And so that conversation, it will take you to the next level.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Is someone come, is very, very calm. He want to talk points. And you just come out with something you talk about nonsense. And the people will be like, what the hell?
So you kind of...
Do you know what I mean?
So you kind of can't be like a fan girl or fanboy of the celebrities. Like you can't be like, oh my God, it's such and such. You kind of have to treat them. Do you think that's one of the things they like about you is? Okay. So in terms of on the business side of things, I've noticed in the last 2 years, more than anything, you've been looking at expanding. Like there's the one you've opened, I think.
Oh yes, I've got another business where it's in Oldham.
Yeah, so you've expanded the shop into. So what was it first of? What was the thought process behind that? Like what?
It's more like to help. You know me, I always love to help. So I knew I need to create another jobs to other people where it's like when I look in Oldham, there was no many barbershops.
So is it like the opportunity thing and then the demand?
It's a type of thing.
So have you thought about like a long term? Do you want to have multiple franchises? Cities?
Right now I'm looking to go to Manchester, not Oldham. Actually Manchester. Yeah.
So do you have like a business plan, like in general, or do you have a business? Do you sit down and also, what's that like, and how often do you change it?
The business plan, I don't really change it. It's my head. I don't write it down.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? So I know exactly, the figure. It's the same foundation where I started from the first one. Even the time has changed. Do you know what I mean?
So do you have like I'll give you an example. Like for me, I always do things in 3 to 5 year increments in my head, like business plans. But at the end of every year, I reevaluate and tweak. And generally, I think up until, especially mainly because of the pandemic as well, the last 18 months, almost 2 years, I've had to rechange it literally every 6 months, 6 months. Yeah. Do you have that? Where does the vision change in your mind, or do you hold it? Is it still the same, or do you know what I mean? Do you have that where you evaluate things and change things in your mind?
Oh yes, I do that most of the time, especially on this Julie, this hard time, the pandemic. So, as a lot of things have changed. The plan is changed.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
How?
Because up to now, I should have more than 3 or 4 barbershops.
So you think the pandemic's kind of slowed that down?
Yes.
What?
And I spend a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? Because you remember that time, we didn't allow to work. So all you spend money what you have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And someone like me, I've got a big family. I'm a family guy. Yeah. So I've got two barbershops which I have to pay rent, where there's no income.
Yeah.
I've got my house, yeah, and I have to travel back
All
and
over.
forth. Do you know what I mean? To go to see the family.
So
And
did-
by the way, I have a family in Africa which I never let them out. Do you know what I mean? I have to help
did
them
you-
out as well.
Did you
So,
have
yeah.
to? So you said the pandemic affected things. Have you had to rework your timetable? Like, do you still have the same aspirations, but you've had to rework your timetable and do things like that? Because kind of similarly for me, I've had to kind of tweak things and think, oh, the projections that I had before. I mean, actually, it's worked differently for me because I'm in healthcare, but
Right.
you kind of had to each tweak things and tweak things. Have you still got the same vision, and have you just kind of had to put new dates to it?
I think it's the same vision, but I'm just expand the time.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
the
So
same vision.
it's the same
but
thing,
it's the
but-
time. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Where what is changed? Because if it wasn't the pandemic, as I say, I should done all that what I'm supposed to be doing. But because at the time, so I have to put myself now. I give him more time. So for another 2 years,
You've
yeah.
had
So
to-
I just put myself in 2 years' time. I need to
Okay.
have another
I think
barbershop,
that-
or
I think
even
that-
before 2 years.
I think that's smart though, because I
Yeah.
think as a businessman or entrepreneur, I think it's smart to react to what's going on now.
Yep.
Because your vision at the start may not be what the reality is now. And then two, we're talking about the pandemic. What was that like? Because like I said, I've had different people on the podcast who do in different industries.
Right.
Like for myself in healthcare, like it or not, the pandemic has created a huge demand, like a lot of problems, but also a huge demand. And then last year, we had George on, and then we had Josh on, and they're saying for them, because they're estate agents, their business has been booming for some reason. What was it like? Because I know you had to. I mean, there was a good 4 or 5 month period I didn't see. So, what was that like when the pandemic hit, and what were the effects of it? And then how did you kind of innovate to change things? Because you did. So what was it? First, what was the pandemic like as a business owner who couldn't directly be working? What was that like?
For me, I would take it as a bless, because it gave me time for me to study of myself. Because sometimes we think we know ourselves, but we don't. Because you wake up in the morning, you're doing the same thing every single day on your life, yeah? So during this time, we had that 6-month period. When you sit down, you just realize who you are. I learned a lot of things. I used that time for me, myself, to study of myself. I studied of my business. I put in, time and place and to develop myself, new skills, and to make a more relationship of myself.
So,
Because I didn't have that. Remember
Yeah.
where I used to work? I used from 8 in the morning to 8 or 9 in the night.
yeah.
So more than 12 hours.
So
That
that's
is
gone.
every single day.
Yeah. So what in terms of the changes, because what I noticed a lot about you guys, and what I actually really appreciated for me was you kind of innovated in terms of like with the app. Because before it used to just be get in, walk in an appointment. You guys innovated, and obviously with the rule change and stuff, you guys innovated, and I thought it was genius because it
Yeah.
actually helped.
It
It
helped
helped
a lot.
your business. It helped your business because the organization that was required because of the
Yeah.
pandemic. That was one of the things I thought you guys
Yeah,
did.
this app, Booksy app, man, is the one, to be honest. It just taking me on the different level of my work. First of all, I just realized I've got much time for myself, and I don't have to, to rush people
Yeah.
during the haircut, because I put it the slot, which is 45 minutes for person.
Yeah.
So that's the 45 minutes, and I've got 15 minutes break for myself, so I can use that.
So it's just so you
Yeah.
think I think that
it's
it's
quite
helped
good,
change.
man.
It's,
Yeah.
it's had a good effect on your business and it's helped change. So where in terms of diversifying, you and I had behind closed doors, like we had a couple of conversations. Do you
Right.
see yourself diversifying into other things? Because like I remember that there was that kind of there was that discussion we had of different business ideas that you've got that you maybe want to look at. Have you thought about other things you want to diversify in?
Yeah. I've got different ideas where I just put in place right now. And first of all, I want to put myself on a sales. Do you know what I mean? There's a type of thing like buy, like me, I love cars.
Yeah.
And I've got my people back home where
So you want
it's I've got a few things what is going on.
Yeah.
But it could be the big thing where we want to sell the cars.
Cars, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is other things like other industries you want to diversify in. How do you pick that? I'm always interested because I'm one of them that has started to now go into other industries, and it hasn't been the most easiest thing because like how do you get the ideas? Like what makes you think I want to go into that industry or I want to start this business or look at that? Is it the opportunity? Because I remember talking to my mom. I think it was like she goes by. This is my mom we're talking about, but she said to me, she looks at where there's a need, like there's a need to. How do you look at investment opportunities? Like what is gonna get me if I'm looking for Eddie to invest in something? How do I go about doing that? How do I say you to invest in something?
First of all, I think you have to look at yourself. What position are you into?
Okay, in terms of
financial.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to invest yourself on a different business, you have to have the skills and the right mind for you to stick and go for it. Because you don't want to think about something big and your mind is not that big to get that. Okay. So you need to, you have to go with your level.
So you have to have like a mindset to start with.
Yes.
And then how do you go about, and this is one I like to ask every entrepreneur who comes on, how do you go about managing multiple businesses? Because even like you with all them, how do you manage all of that? Because that's the kind of the part that I'm at now, stuck on.
As I say, you have to put yourself, time and effort. Time is most important.
Okay.
Especially someone like me, I work for long hours. When you realize now, you won't find me on the shop after 7.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah. That is one of the change I made in myself. I'll start 9 to 5 or 6 and
so
my day will be off. So on that time, before my bedtime, I've got enough time for me to sit down and to go research or do things what I want to do.
Is that so? How have you achieved that then? Is that you're trusting the staff more or you're delegating more? Because now I do notice now a lot.
I'm always trust my staff.
No, but what's changed though? Because before you were always there. Now a lot, from what I've seen, being
most of the time I'm not there.
A lot of the time, it's the dynamics changed, but also the staff that you got in there are handling it now. What's changed? Is it for me, one of the things I think about that a friend once told me is if the owner or the CEO or the whatever has to be involved in the business, then there's something wrong. If you have to always be fundamentally involved, is that kind of the thinking there that I've got to empower this thing's got to run when I'm not there?
For me, is all I can remember from now. I've been on the shop for 6 days a week over 7 years. I didn't have a time for me, to have a more mindset, like to be outside of work so I can do something else.
Yeah.
So, and I never achieve anything. Of course, you're there, you make people happy, you make money. Do you know what I mean? You created the atmosphere, but at the same time, you're doing
everything
the same thing over and over again. Every single day in your life, you're doing the same thing because you're not changing. Okay. Yeah. So for me, I just changed that. So now I've got more time outside the work. So I give myself, as you say, is 5 days in the shop.
So you think from learning, because I think as well, that's kind of the thing I've learned is you can't do it all and you can't work 24/7, 24/7.
Yeah.
So do you think that's a learning curve that everyone has to learn that?
Yeah, that's the basic thing.
Yeah, you got to be there, because I remember people used to tell me like you're always working, you're always doing this, and in my mind that's what you have to do to keep a business going, isn't it? You have to, and I used to, and I still do take pride in the fact that I'm always crazy working. But generally now, just being honest, I'm not the person that's there all the time, because you've got a good team around you.
Yeah.
You can kind of empower them,
and you trust the progress.
We'll discuss. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the Q&As. Now, if everyone doesn't know, so with the Q&As, we put out a Q&A for other people and staff that know it. He told him he was coming onto the podcast, and we've had a few questions come in. There's a few juicy ones as well from a few people. So the very first one: are you the best barber in Liverpool, and why? And if so, why?
Yes, I am.
Why? What makes you?
Because I'm the best.
Is it the quality of the haircut? Is it what? Come on.
As I say,
I'm not going to let you off.
I'm just everything, not just the haircut. As I say before, you go good haircut, you go the quality time to spend with me and talk about things what you want to talk. Yeah, we can have a banter as you always do. You come with your miserable face and I make you laugh. That is the one. That is the one. Yeah?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, this was. Can you ask Iddy why he always makes time for all the Liverpool footballers when we're all in the shop?
Right. I think that is.
Iddy, don't you lie, because I've got a couple stories. Don't you dare lie.
I don't think I will be able to lie about that.
Right, Iddy. For everyone,
as we say, we call VIP. Anywhere you go in this world, not just for me. Anywhere they go, there will be saved face. Do you know what I mean? And what I change, where I know they're coming, I start to talk to people. You see, that is the difference to compare to from me.
Eddie, yeah? I'm gonna get you here.
All right.
There's two occasions I remember. This was 3 years. The first one was 3 years ago.
Right.
And I was in the shop. I'm in the other chair, and it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But this is before. This is like when he was like under 21.
Yeah,
whatever.
Before he became the way he is right now.
So you've just there's just been a guy that's in the chair. And you've just finished. The other guy's about to get up. He walks in. Clearly didn't have an appointment. Clearly didn't have an appointment.
Right.
And you're just like, no, he's going to jump in. And that was the first one.
Okay, so remember, that time we wasn't doing an appointment.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So these people, they contract me, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to you. Yeah, these people, they contract me. They tell me that will be, at the store what time. So I have to make a space for them. So wherever people come in, I say, yo, I've got one person in this time. So they didn't know who the person is.
Okay.
Do you understand? So when they come, I say, oh, bro, you remember I told you I've got one person? I was like, oh, okay. I thought maybe it's one of us. We sit and I said, no. This is the guy I told you is going to be the first.
Okay.
But I always have to let them know first before the person come.
Okay. What do you think is the most important thing about running a business post the pandemic? So since the pandemic, what do you think a business owner and entrepreneur needs to have post pandemic?
I think it's a time.
I don't know. It's a difficult one. I think personally, like you need to have innovation. Because I think since the pandemic, everything's changed. Like you got to think outside the box. So like you were discussing the new system you brought in, things like that. I think the most thing is everything's changed.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a time, because that's why now these days we have a appointment. Before I didn't have an appointment.
Okay.
And I have to put everything in place.
So for you, it's like the time, this
because
specific time.
I didn't during the pandemic I didn't want more than 5 people in the store.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That is a help a lot because it's a one-to-one. So most of the time when you come, like you see like shop is empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Only me and the
specific.
client.
Yeah,
And after
specific.
that, as soon as left, someone has come. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So, what can a customer get from you? I think I asked them, what can a customer what can a customer get from you that they don't get from any other barber in Liverpool?
It's a good trim.
The level of
Yeah.
haircut.
The level.
Okay, I agree with that. And then, what do you do? What do you do? This, I think it's a good one. Cash into that one. What do you do to create loyalty from your customers? Because I see that a lot. Like it's literally for 4 or 5 years, it's been the same people, and then also a lot of them come in the same days.
Yes.
Like
yes.
So what do you do that brings the loyalty out of them?
I think for me is a communication. Sometimes this is what people they need to learn. You can give someone his bad haircut, right? Which I don't give bad haircut. Yeah. And the people they'll still come to you because it's the way you handle and the way you communicate with them. So they are happy to be there. They feel like there's no other place to go than this place. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I created. That is the atmosphere. When you come to me, when you go to different barbershop, you don't get it.
You don't get, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the beauty of the barbershop is not like the stuff what they have inside. Do you know what I mean? The more fancy stuff. No, it's the way you sell yourself to them. Not material things.
I agree. I think the atmosphere is the biggest thing because even
the atmosphere is everything, bro.
For years now, coming into yours, it's you'd be waiting a bit, but then you'd be having a chat with.
Yeah.
It's like the whole barbershop's having a conversation. So we go there for that, for that atmosphere. So I quite enjoy that. And then, second last, what advice would you give to your younger self?
To be hard work, to be loyal to the people who bring food on the table, respect them, and they treat them like the way you like to be treated yourself.
Okay.
Yep.
And then very last one, where do you get your business sense from?
Sense?
Yeah, but your business sense. Like you got a sense for business. Where do you get that from?
I think it's my own way.
You think it's just naturally?
It's just natural. Everything you see I'm doing in my shop, is me, myself, created that. I didn't learn it from anyone.
Do you think that can be taught? Like, having a business sense. Do you think that can be taught, or is it just something you do or don't have?
It can be taught.
Okay.
But for myself, I think God gave me something where I don't know what it is, but I'm always have something to do something, and it come out with a good result. Yeah.
To a certain extent, you can. To a certain extent, you can teach and train people, but I do think to do things at a high level, be it whatever it's gonna be it sport, business, whatever. I think to do things at a high level, you have to intrinsically have that in you.
Yeah.
Like intrinsically, you have to manufacture that in with
yourself from you.
Yeah. So like even like when I see like the cashier, when you see all the footballers and things like that, they talk about intrinsically for them how it's their obsession and things like that. And I think it has to be the same in business. I think you can be taught, like you're saying. I'm very confident I can teach people to do things, but I think for you to do your own thing
to take on a different level,
to go to a high
you have to put
level.
First of all, you have to love what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Anything, if you're not loving what you do, bro, you won't go anywhere.
Do you think, okay.
It doesn't matter how many, you can be teach with one of the famous or the big teacher in this world. Do you know what I mean?
See, on that, before we're gonna wrap up in a sec, on that, I think it's half and half. I think you have to enjoy what you do. Yeah. But in general, I enjoy it now. In general, I didn't want to be in healthcare. It's just, you were in it, you're involved in it, you notice you're good at it, then you start to enjoy that. So I think it doesn't have to just be like a passion. It can be, a lot of the time what I see with entrepreneurs, they fall into it, and then because of the aptitude, whatever, they start to love it. But you do have to, I do agree with you that you do have to have a sense of enjoyment, or else what's the purpose of going up?
And everything else will fall on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So thanks for finally popping in, gracing us with your presence. But so before we head off, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Right. I'm available on Instagram, where the name I use is ED9.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll get that put up
ED9.
on. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that put up on.
IDD9.
Okay,
and
perfect.
you'll find me there.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, man.
Anytime. Always got time for you, and thanks for finally actually, making the time out. Perfect.
Bless, my brother.